Hi, Mr. O. This is day 1 of the Eggsperiment. Okay, so this is Katniss, first of all. Katniss Eggerdean. First day. The newborn stage, 0 to 12 months. So the activities of the day were... the activities of the day were being born, first of all. Basketball. She was at my basketball practice. Got babysitted by a trusted babysitter, Coach Fleck. The boys' basketball game picked up a big win because of Katniss. The Chegg brought her to the Chegg, and then now we're at Liv's house. So, okay, so Piaget would say about this, with his sensory motor theory, that she began to understand that objects exist and use skills that she was born with. Discovers the difference between herself and her environment. Erikson, she developed trust because I gave her a home and left her with a good babysitter and took her out. And Kohlberg, she has no morals yet, and that she bases her judgments off self-interest. Like, for example, today was the big reaping day in District 12. She just started crying because she was tired, and it was really bad timing, and it was just for her interest because she just wanted to sleep. So, okay. Bye. Day 2 vlog of the Eggsperiment. There's Katniss Eggerdean here, thriving at 12 to 18 months. So, about today, she's still in Piaget's sensory motor timeline, and she's just still understanding that objects exist and use skills that she was born with, discovers the difference between herself and her environment. Erikson's now is autonomy versus shame and doubt, and Katniss is allowed to choose to braid her hair. Choose to braid her hair every day, which encourages autonomy. And Kohlberg's preconventional theory, she still has no morals yet because she's still in preconventional, and she still bases her judgments off self-interest. So today, she took her friend's toy just because she wanted to play with it, but it made them cry because she doesn't get that. Can't just take people's toys because she only just wants to do things because of her self-interest. Okay, day 2 was a success. We'll be back again tomorrow. Okay, it is day 3 of the Eggsperiment. We have Katniss Eggerdean here, and she is currently 18 months to 3 years today. So Piaget, with his pre-operational theory, he says that toddlers think about things symbolically and develop memory and imagination, understand the difference between past and future. For example, today Katniss pretended a broom was a horse using her imagination. Erikson today is autonomy versus shame and doubt. Today she picked out what to eat for breakfast, and this promotes autonomy and making decisions on her own. Kohlberg, with his preconventional theory, she has no morals yet, or a slow development of them at least, and she bases her judgments off self-interest. So she was in school today, and she didn't share her crayons with the other kids because she wanted to draw with them, but she didn't realize that that's not really moral. And they also learned to respect authority in this stage, and the teacher told her to share, and she just said no. So yeah, day 3. See you tomorrow. Okay, so it is day 4 of the Eggsperiment. Today Katniss is in preschool, 3 to 5 years old. So Piaget's pre-operational stage thinks about things symbolically and develops memory and imagination. She understands the difference between past and future. So an example of this is today she imitated someone. That's showing imagination and memory, memorizing them. Erikson's initiative versus guilt. It takes initiative is by she was shown her first bow, and she went shooting with her dad. This promotes leadership skills and taking initiative. Kohlberg's preconventional stage, it's still a slow development of morals, and kids base their judgment on self-interest. She basically says she went to the bathroom to get praise, she's still a little kid. And she did this because she wanted the praise, so she just did what she was asked, because just a slow development of morals. Day 4.
Hi, I'm Melissa, and I'm babysitting Katniss Eggerdean for Gabby. So right now it is day 5 of the experiment, and Katniss is in grade school from 5 to 12 years old. So in Piaget's, she's in concrete/operational. If nothing is added or taken away, then the amount of something stays the same. So she's developing advanced reasoning and thinking more logical and organized. For example, she's seeing depth perception of archery. For Erikson, she's at competence versus inferiority. She's comparing herself with peers to gauge abilities and worth. For example, she's told she's not smart enough in school and develops an inability and depletes her confidence. For Kohlberg, she's at pre-conventional. She has slow development of morals, and she bases her judgment on self-interest. For example, she does chores to get rewards.
Today is day 6 of the experiment, and I'm babysitting Katniss. She's in junior high right now, 13 to 15 years old. For PJ, it's formal and operational. Her ability to understand theories and abstract concepts and predict possible outcomes, like what if she got drafted to the Hunger Games. For Erikson, it's identity versus role confusion. This is where she'll develop a sense of herself and her identity, or it'll become associated with negative behaviors and she's not going to be able to commit to an identity. For example, Katniss finds her identity as being the one who hunts and provides the food for her family. For Kohlberg, it's conventional, and it's her ability to judge the morality of actions and can compare actions to society's expectations. For example, Katniss refusing to cheat on a test in school because it results in disruption. Thanks.
Okay, it is day 7, the last day of the experiment. Katniss right now is in high school, 15 to 18 years old, which, keep in mind, is also the year she was 16 when she got picked to be in the Hunger Games, so important couple years. Piaget's formal and operational stage, the ability to understand theories and abstract concepts and predict possible outcomes. Like, one would be a question like, what would life be like for my family if I was never born? Because she's like main provider for her family after her dad died and stuff, and so she's basically predicting what would happen. Erikson, identity versus role confusion. You develop a sense of yourself and your identity, or you become associated with negative behaviors and are not able to commit to an identity. So Katniss meets Peeta and realizes her love for him and learns to navigate the relationship through surviving the games. So they're together in the games, and she loves him and stuff, and she basically just, she finds that to be her role and herself, and she develops that as her identity. So Kohlberg's conventional stage, it is able to judge morality of actions that can compare actions to society's expectations. For example, at the end of the games, they said there could only be one winner, but she refuses to kill Peeta, and she's willing to die with him because she loves him, and she's judging the morality of the actions. Like, she wouldn't want to kill him because she could have killed him. He wanted her to kill him, but she didn't because the morality of her actions. That's the end. Day 7. This is the last video of the experiment here with Katniss Eggerdean. Last day. So this is the rest of the life in the stages. So Piaget has 4 stages of cognitive development. So the last one is formal operational. It's from 12 and up. As Katniss aged, she built on the skill of manipulating ideas in her head and being able to predict outcomes. Decision-making, problem-solving, and abstract thinking all improve gradually after age 12. As she gets older, marries Peeta, and has 2 children, she makes important decisions, like going back to District 12, and can predict possible outcomes of her children's actions. For example, she does not tell them about President Snow and her experiences with the Hunger Games because it could instill fear in them. Erikson's stages of development continue 3 more stages after age 18. First is between the ages 18 to 40, and it is intimacy versus isolation. In this stage, Katniss developed a sense of herself and also learned skills to a successful relationship. For example, even after all her struggles, Katniss and Peeta get married and live happily with their children. The seventh stage of Erikson's theory is generativity versus stagnation. It ranges from age 40 to 65. This is the stage adults either make positive impacts in the world or are unproductive. An example of generativity is raising and mentoring children, and an example of stagnation is persistent unemployment. The last stage of Erikson's stage of development is from the ages of 65 to death. It's integrity versus despair. In this stage, individuals reflect on their life and determine if it was well lived or if they regret choices they made along the way. For example, at the end of Katniss's life, she was proud of all that she did to help the districts in their fight against the Capitol. As far as Kohlberg's theory of moral development, just the post-conventional stage is left to discuss. This stage represents all of adulthood. In this stage, adults make choices according to their personal beliefs. They do not feel the need to follow ethics or rules of society. Katniss, for example, believed that all people in the districts deserve to not be under the rule of the Capitol, even though other people were too scared, and it was a rule not to speak out against the Capitol. So my parenting style during this was authoritative, and I did set rules and enforce them, but I let Katniss give her opinion. This made her become brave and powerful and have a sense of herself. That's it. The end of the experiment.